Welcome to In the Kitchen with Dinah. Today we're making turkey and wild rice soup.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Gonna taste good, I know.
If you watched the last episode of me, I showed you how to make turkey broth or turkey stock. And we boiled that Thanksgiving turkey carcass, and we're gonna use it today in this turkey and wild rice soup. This one goes together super easy, and I'm sure you're gonna have veggies left from your veggie tray. So we're gonna need onion, carrot, celery, some mushrooms, the turkey stock that we made, some leftover turkey, and some wild rice or rice if you don't want to use wild rice, but it adds great flavor. So we're gonna get all of our, first off, I'm gonna turn my Dutch oven on my stove and get it hot, and we're gonna add some oil and butter to that because we're gonna saute some veggies. I've got a half an onion here. This is a great way to use up all those leftovers after Thanksgiving. So you just want just a rough dice. Nothing pretty, nothing fancy. I've got about 3 carrots here. These are already sliced because I stole them from my meal prepping. I take these to work in my lunch during the week. So they're already peeled and cut. I'm just gonna cut them a little smaller. And all these carrots can just be a rough slice. And I've got about 3 stalks of celery. Same with that. Let's go about half of those. There's something so satisfying to hear that crispy celery just chop like that.
Sounds like a zipper almost.
It sure does, isn't that fun? And if you want your celery chopped smaller, you certainly can. Like I said, this is a quick soup. All right, so let's head over to our stove. All right, so I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna put in my Dutch oven. I'm gonna put, or you can use just a stock pot, that works, and a tablespoon of oil. I'm just using a light olive oil. I'm gonna take all these veggies, drop them into the pool. And we're just gonna let these saute for about 5 minutes or so. You want the onions a little translucent and them to cook through. So as we're waiting for all of that to cook down a little, I've got some cremini mushrooms. I already got the sliced ones. This is an 8-ounce container. It calls for 7, but we're gonna use them all. Maybe I'll save some for eggs in the morning. Just because I don't want huge pieces of mushroom. We'll just give them a rough chop here. Oh, Denver, you do not like mushrooms. I know you don't. You don't eat them. All right, and I want to talk about the wild rice. Now, I couldn't find any, and I've done this before, and I think it's probably with all the, I don't know, they just don't carry it. I'm using this wild rice blend, and I went ahead and pre-cooked it because it took like 45 minutes. So my rice is sitting off to the side of my stove. It's cool, but it'll speed up the cooking time of your soup if you have it done. Now, if you want to use brown rice or white rice, that also, you'll have to just adjust your cooking times with that. But I really like the blend on this one. Let me think. It's long grain, brown rice, sweet brown rice, wild rice, red rice, and black rice. And I just really like the flavor that it brings to this soup. So that's what I'm using. If you can find this, or use whatever kind of rice you want. All right, as that's cooking, I'm gonna add about a 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. It's probably closer to a half. Just need a little minute. And we also need some garlic. And we need about 3 cloves, so I'm just gonna give a scoop in there. That smells good. I'm gonna add some pepper. I'm gonna add some now, and then when we get to the end, I'm gonna taste it again, and we can always add more. All right, so those onions are looking really great. I'm gonna take about 3 tablespoons of flour, just sprinkle it on top. This is a roux-based soup. So if you are gluten-free, you can just use cornstarch slurry at the end to thicken it up. I'm gonna let that cook just a minute so it gets the flour cooked out of it. All right, so now I need 6 cups of chicken broth. So I've got 4 cups here. So I've got another jar here. I only need half of it, so I need 6 cups. So that's about right. All right, now we're gonna add those mushrooms. And we'll let it come to a simmer. All right, so like I told you, I have my rice right here. I cooked it previous, and I am going to add it. So that was 1 cup of dry rice. Just dump it in. It's gonna soak up all that flavor. And then I've just got 2 cups of my turkey that I got off that carcass. That's going in. Now all we need to do, oh yeah, this is nice and thick and wonderful. Look at that. Yum. Now all I have to do is we're gonna bring it to a boil and let it simmer because you want your carrots cooked and everything heated through and cooked. That celery. So let's put a lid on it and I'll be back. Well, my soup has been simmering on the stove. It smells delicious in my house. And I'm just gonna turn it off here, give it a stir. You can see the mushrooms have cooked down. I tested the carrots and the celery and they're all tender. Ugh, yum. My rice is plumped just a little more, which is just how I like it, especially on this dark rice. Anyway, the last thing we need to add is a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, and it makes it just delicious and decadent. Goodness. Yum-mo.
Oh my gosh.
Smells so good, doesn't it? Okay, let's grab a beautiful plate here, my ladle, and let's get some served up here. Yum. Yum. Look at this. I would eat this, but it's absolutely going to burn my face off. You know what we didn't do though, guys, is taste it for seasoning. So let's do that here quick. I'd say it needs a little more salt. But for this dish, we're just going to sprinkle some on. Sit and wait for that to cool. I'm going to add it to the rest of it. Probably a good 1/2 teaspoon-ish. Remember, we didn't really add any to the chicken or the turkey stock or anything that when we went along the way. So let's try it one more time. There you go. That's it. So I'm going to let this cool off. We're going to have it for dinners this week, and I'll probably take some into my lunch because it's, you know, like 20 degrees. So anyway, look at this delicious soup. All the ingredients probably left over from Thanksgiving. I hope you guys try this. It is so delicious. It's hearty, it's rich. It's so good. It's so flavorful. I thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen. I hope you learned maybe a couple new things, and I will see you on the next episode.
It's the perfect end to a beautiful holiday.
Or a good start to your work week ahead.
That's true. Leverage the holiday into a week-long feast.
Is that not good enough? Okay, I'll say it again. It is tricky. Wild rice.
Wild rice swoop.
Oh my gosh, it is a tongue twister.
Twistle. Beginning of the shot, I did not have tilt enabled, so some pretty wacky shooting.
Gonna taste good, I know.